Magandang tanghali po sa inyong lahat mga sports fans. Chikiro Wapuno po. And we are already in day 3 of competition here in women's indoor volleyball in the Hanoi Games. And the first set was a heartbreak for the Philippines. They fought so hard for that set, really kept in step with Indonesia, even took the lead in the latter part, getting as much as 3 points over Indonesia, but in the end giving it up to the girls in red. The first set 25-23 with Indonesia winning that one. Taking a look at where we are right now in the competition, Philippines has one win against Malaysia and a loss to Thailand, both in 3 straight sets. Indonesia, on the other hand, also gave up that game they played against Thailand yesterday in 3 straight. Tignan nga natin yung mga scores. It was almost an identical matchup. Thailand beat the Philippines 25-15, 25-13, 25-14. Tignan natin ang score against Indonesia 25-15, 25-12, 25-14. So mas maganda pa by 1 point ang showing ng Pilipinas. And that just goes to show how evenly matched these two teams are. As we saw the first set, napakalapit. And we saw equally talented hitters, spikers on both sides. Of course, Megawati was the biggest threat for us in the first set. So aabangan yan. I'm sure Coach De Brito, our new Brazilian coach, has already flagged Megawati. And we hope that she can be stopped at the net. On the other hand, Kat Tolentino scored a lot of points in the first set. We hope to see this opposite spiker show up some more and really show what she's about in the Southeast Asian Games. Indonesia now with 2 points. That last one off the block. And this is the very efficient, quiet but efficient setter, Putri of Indonesia. And Negrito putting it up. Molina takes it. She is dug. Putri going to Megawati. No go. Great job there by Tolentino and Jaja Santiago. It's so scary for them. This is the best rotation that we can ask for, where Megawati is really faced with our biggest, our tallest players, our tall middle blockers. Jaja Santiago, who's 6'5", of course, assisted by Kat Tolentino, who is herself a 6-footer, 6'1". So pupunta sila sa kabila. They will try to come from all over the place. Pero nakikita din naman natin, this is also trademark Brazilian style volleyball, where they put a lot of premium on the blocking and really understanding the game all around and having a more fuller knowledge of the game and knowing how it's played, where to go, where the ball will be placed. This is the kind of thing that Coach De Brito wanted to bring in, the kind of culture he wanted to bring in to our team. They did spend 2 weeks in Brazil in training camp right before coming to Vietnam for these games. And yung kulturang maging mas aware sa nangyayari in the entire court, whatever position you might hold. That is the kind of thing that Coach De Brito wants to instill in our girls. So it's new. It's something that they have to be able to absorb more. And we hope to be able to see them really play smarter. Of course, we see there a smart play coming from Indonesia, causing a early timeout called by Coach De Brito. Back for more action here in women's indoor volleyball. Philippines against Indonesia. Indonesia taking that first set in such exciting fashion. It was a Very, very hotly contested and close first set. 25-23 was the score on that if you're just joining us. And now Indonesia with a 4-point lead early in the second set. Let's see if the Philippines can change things around. Yes, we can. Kat Tolentino with a kill. One more time on that play. Again, nice combination there. Jaja as decoy and Kat Tolentino finding the hole in the back row of Indonesia. Hard to do because the coverage we've seen of Indonesia in the back has been pretty efficient. Jaja Santiago now with a serve. Quick. That was an easy point. Uncontested practically by this girl, Cynthia. She is only 19 years old. The youngest player in Team Indonesia. And this middle blocker has a future ahead of her. She has been very consistent in this game so far as we see her getting ready to serve. Philippines will set up Kat Tolentino again. Ducci is dug this time. Outside set. Cynthia is blocked this time. Kat again. And they're hoping for a check ball there. Or maybe a net violation coming from Indonesia. And that's a point for our girls, the girls in white. Pride of Ateneo de Manila University. I'm sure all of her fans cheering her on. Hashtag Pilipino Pusong Panalo po. Kung gusto ninyong batiin ang inyong mga paboritong players at ang ating lahat ng ating mga manlalaro in all the different sports. We are so proud of the Philippine contingent coming out in Hanoi in these games. Indonesia retaining a 4-point lead as Megawati serves. Outside set, Eliza Valdez down the line. Ouch! Natawa na lang si Megawati. Didn't even try to stop that ball. One more time. She was not in the right position, and Eliza Valdez knew that. And again, we want to take advantage of this while Megawati is at the back row. Phenom at serve. And from behind the attack line, naku, balikan lang itong dalawang to. Targeting Eliza Valdez, and she couldn't get that ball up. Megawati, top scorer for Indonesia. Such a tall opposite hitter, 6'1". Ratri with a serve now. Who will Negrito go to? And Mepito don. That will go our way. Somebody was at the net. And we see Riri Meneses now getting some court action. She did so well against Malaysia in day one of competition. Riri Meneses, the other tall player that we have. Our other middle blocker, 26 years old, debuting in the SEA Games. We have an outside set. Coming now from the left side is outside hitter Amalia Fairina. Isa pa to. She really knows how to use the blockers. Hit it off of the blockers like she did. And that's another point for Indonesia. We still have a 4-point advantage over our girls. The girls in white. Kapit lang. We want to get them back. Indonesia took the first set 25-23. Back set from behind the attack line. Megawati with an error. And that's a lucky break for the Philippines. Once outside. Good call for the Philippines to let that just sail out. 6-9 now. Kyle Negrito, the setter for the Philippines. Getting ready with her serve. And we have 3 tall girls at the front. Great cover there by Kat Tolentino. Cespolina trying to pull a fast one. She does. We will take our points however they can come. And Our fans at the stadium celebrating that point. Catching even the libero unawares. Smart play by Ces Molina. Dalawa na lang hahabulin ng Team Philippines. Kyle Negrito debuting here in the Southeast Asian Games. She was a last-minute replacement for Dina Wong. And very efficient for the Philippines. Is that called inside? It sure is. That's an ace. One more time on that. Isa na lang. Just the 1-point deficit for Team Philippines. Just easy over. Nice safe serve for Kyle Negrito. Philippines getting ready for that block there. And again, it is Farina. Amalia Farina. Outside hitter. Finding the hole there in the back. I think we have a challenge. That actually looked like an in ball. But the point was going to be awarded to the Philippines, being challenged now by Indonesia. We've seen a lot of this, and the good thing about this coverage, they actually show the slow-mo reel so that the audience gets to see what the challenge is all about. I hope they do that now too. Again, every point counts in this matchup. Challenge. They said there is no touch. Lumabas yung bola untouched by the Philippines. That's a point for our girls. Kyle Negrito continues to serve, and we are tied up at 9. Ces Molina very smart there, reading that link, that push from Indonesia. Nasagot, pero hindi po not good enough. The setter couldn't get to that pass. And that's a point for Philippines. Finally, a lead in this second set for the girls in white. Kyle Negrito very steady at the set. We have some substitutions. See, Amalia steps out. Nuwari is in. Arcela Nuwari, number 9 for Indonesia. Negrito, nice steady serves. Yes! Exactly what to do. Give it to the girl who just came in. Yan talagang gusto mong gawin dun sa malamig pa. Dalawa na ang lamang ng Pilipinas. Philippines wants to even things out here. They gave up the first set. 25-23, not what we wanted to see. Service error after 3 points from Kyle Negrito. Philippines still with the lead though, but Indonesia will get the serve back. And this is Putri, 5'6" setter of Team Indonesia. Ces Molina is dug. Should be an easy over, a chance for the Philippines to set up. Who will Kyle go to? Middle to Jaja. What a save by the libero. Not quite though. She got to the ball pero masyadong napalapit sa net, hindi masalba nung kanyang teammate. And that's a point care of Jaja Santiago for the Philippines. Ces Molina with a serve now. 3-man block. Kyle Negrito gets that first ball. Liza Valdez will go up. 2-man block, but it's off the block. That one is outside, and a point. Care of Megawati again. Doing damage this time from the left side. She's back, and we see how every time Megawati goes up now, she is challenged by the blockers of the Philippines. The game plan of Coach Jorge De Brito. We need to take advantage of our height, of the height differential. Mas matatangkad tayo, give them a hard time at the front. as we see a point again from Tolentino. This combination play seems to be working very well executed, with Jaja Santiago as the decoy and Tolentino finishing it off, scoring for the Philippines. Jaja Santiago continues to serve. We don't want these service errors. That's point number 12 now for Indonesia. For those of you, again, just joining us now, we gave up our first set to Indonesia, 25-23. Indonesia taking an early lead against the Philippines in this second set, but we now have a 1-point advantage. We want to be able to get the ball back. Indonesia will set up. Megawati almost there by Kat Arado, but she continues to just target our back row here. Megawati just piling on the points for Indonesia, and we are tied again at 13 apiece. Cynthia Mauludina, and that is called inside by the lines judge. I think we have a challenge. It did look like it was inside. Let's take a look at what the slow-mo camera tells us. As we mentioned earlier, seems like both teams playing with new coaches. That is definitely inside. Point for Indonesia there. Coach Samsul of Indonesia is not returning this year. And as we recall, Coach Shaq de los Santos was at the helm when these two teams met in 2019. So different people, different coaches taking the lead for both teams in this edition of the SEA Games. Let's see. Philippines will score again. Kat Tolentino does it off the block this time. And we're at 14 up. 14 all again. Sobrang dikit ng laban dito ng Indonesia at Pilipinas. At ganito naman talaga ang ating inasahan. Seeing how they played against each other in the past games, past competitions. Both teams very evenly matched. Of course, Indonesia took the bronze back in 2019. The Philippines, in the meantime, after that ace by Kat Tolentino, taking the lead, wanting to win this match, putting ourselves in a good position to medal. We have not seen a podium finish since 2005. It's been a long time coming, and this year just might be it. As Kat Tolentino continues to serve. Quick! Kat gets her hand on that one. Libero puts it up. Philippines is able to cover. Kat Tolentino from behind the attack line. She's blocked. Who's going up for this one? It's going to be a free ball. Indonesia will set up. Outside set. And that one looks like it's off the block. Ratri will score for Indonesia. Pasok. Natamaan pati yung ating coach. Nice down the line there by Ratri. It was a good rally that we saw. It's 15 all. Such a nip and tuck affair here. Sobrang lapit. Ball is back on the Indonesians' court. They will set up from behind the attack line. Too much for our libero. Indonesia snatching the lead once again. Kat Arado couldn't keep that ball in play. Ibang klase talaga itong si Megawati. She plays tall. She is tall at 6'1", and she has such hops. Napakataas tumalon, and such a smart player. Tireless player. Very young also. 22 years old. One of the younger players in the Indonesian side. Liza Valdez, cut shot! Etong sayo, sabi niya sa libero. Beautiful execution there. And that's experience showing for Eliza Valdez, all that confidence. We need to see more plays like that. Need to see more chances for Eliza Valdez. We know that Eliza and Kyle Negrito play in the same pro team, so they have chemistry going already. So we want to see them take advantage of that. Oh no! These unfortunate and unwanted service errors might really spell the difference here for the second set. We've seen at least three already at crucial times for the Philippines. Indonesia again with the lead. Let's see if the Philippines can minimize those service errors and play good defense. That's a nice reception. Outside set. Says Molina. Just a little too strong on that one. An unforced error from Ses. You know she wanted to go deep. Pero medyo napalakas. And just like that, 2-point lead now for Indonesia. Ratri, 5'10", 20 years old. Another young one from the Indonesian squad. And that one hit the antenna. That's a point for the Philippines. This is what we want to see. The errors also coming from the girls in red. Again, we need to minimize the service errors. We cannot help out the Indonesians. They are very efficient at earning their points. We want to really minimize the errors, whether in our attacks and in our serves. Riri Binez is there. She is back in play here. From behind the attack line, Liza Valdez with a kill. Great combination. And again, we are asking for Negrito to keep looking for Eliza Valdez, who seems to have her game on today. She was silenced a little bit in the game against Thailand. Also didn't show up too much against Malaysia, but Eliza Valdez in the house definitely today. Negrito. This time to Ces Molina. It was blocked off the block. Good enough. We'll take it. Philippines again takes the lead. We have another challenge, it seems, or a timeout called by Indonesia. We'll be back. Philippines looking very good in the second set against Indonesia after having given up the first one. Again, for those of you just joining us, Chikiro Puno here with the action from women's indoor volleyball in Quang Ninh province outside of Hanoi for the 31st Southeast Asian Games. The Philippines now with a 2-point lead after that solid two-man block. They want to win this one. They gave up the first set after fighting so hard and taking the lead towards the end. And that was the story, if you recall, the last time these two teams met. It was the Indonesians who cost us the bronze medal in the 30th Southeast Asian Games after that hotly contested 5-set match. But Jaja Santiago wasn't there. She's here today, except that was a... Let's see, there's a challenge, it seems. Oh, it's going to be given to the Philippines. I don't know if it seems like the Indonesians are challenging that call. Let's see what the camera will tell us. Maganda itong ginagawa nila. As we mentioned earlier, the audience, we at home watching these games are given the opportunity to see the referee's camera there when there is a challenge that is so inside. And That is definitely a point for the Philippines. Para sa inyo dyan na nanonood sa inyong mga tahanan, alam ko na excite na kayo. Gigil tayong lahat makuha ang panalo laban sa Indonesia. So running attack is covered, but it was just a little too much for Ses Molina, getting one hand on that running attack coming from Sugandi, middle blocker of Indonesia. And she is at the serve. One of the more senior members of Team Indonesia, 27 years old. She saw action in the 30th Southeast Asian Games. Ses Molina, yes! Seeing the hole right away there. Such a smart play by Ses Molina. Seeing how sinabayan siya ng mga blocker. At nakita niya walang coverage sa likod nila, taking advantage of that defensive mistake there by Indonesia, not covering their blockers. The Philippines looking good in this second set. 3-point lead, Kyle Negrito, setter. Getting ready to serve. She had a good run of 3 points earlier and then did a service error. She has to make sure she gets her services safely in. Indonesia will set up. Quick, almost. Kyle Negrito almost trying to keep that ball in play, but Indonesia getting the ball back and the point. Tolentino got her hand on that one. Our girls were there. Just could not get to the ball in time as Indonesia gets ready to serve here. Philippines will set up. Kyle Negrito. Back row set works. Beautiful execution there. Indonesia did not see that coming. Ses Molina coming from the right side this time. That's a point for the Philippines. 2 points away from winning this set. Let's see if Ses Molina can get this serve safely in. One of the most mature and seasoned players in Team Philippines. Nalaglag! Ako, hindi natin nabasa yon. Ang tapang din ng front line ng Indonesia. Naamoy ni Yolana Beta, number 6 of Indonesia, na hindi inaasahan ng Pilipinas na i-over niya yung bolang yon. She steps out and we have Tisha coming back in as setter. And this veteran, Farina Amalia Nabila of Indonesia, getting ready to serve here. We just want a nice, clean reception to set up. Kyle Negrito has been finding her offensive players. Jump serve. Nice. And Jaja! Smoke behind that. Talagang kitang-kitang baon. Walang magawa ang Indonesia. Jaja Santiago setting up Team Philippines for 3 set points in the second set. And again, we have Gemma Galanza coming in at the serve. We know this girl has got it at the service area. Let's see if she can win this second set for our girls. Kapit Pilipinas. Indonesia will set up. A quick, and that one is outside. And look who took the second set. Philippines 25-21, winning it off of an error, forcing the Indonesians to make that offensive error there, an unforced one. And it's now 1 set apiece. And we will be back for more exciting volleyball action here at the Southeast Asian Games. Diyan lang po kayo.